those of you that aren't, just chill. See, we're gonna get down to the other stuff here in a minute. But what I'm always trying to get everybody to understand is everything is vibration. So, before we do anything else, just let the vibe seep in. We outside. Yeah. And everything is vibration. Hey, it's the Astro Girl, QuIcK. What's up with it? Good morning. Yeah. You tuned in with your favorite guide to the cosmic energies. What's cracking? Yeah, I know. Tina Clara Marie, how you doing? Love 12, 1212. Can you hear me? Yeah. Just let the vibe hit you. The vibe is always the most important part when you fucking with me. Just let it hit you. We finna talk about it. It's a beautiful morning. How's everybody doing? I'm loving that. If you haven't smiled yet today, this is my personal invitation for you to do so. Like right now. And if you can't find a smile for yourself, please allow me to be the smile on your face. Because at the end of the day, all I am is the smile on your face. All I am is the motherfucking I. And everything is vibration. Ebony, QuIcK, Love 12, Tina Clara Marie, Temptress the Enchantress. Oh, we got some goddesses in the building. Yo, what's up with it? I need everybody else to make sure they're hitting the like button as they come in my door. And in doing so, understand, this is not about ego. Oh no. This is about algorithm. It just helps us expand the platform. That way, if you're not trying to hear what I'm trying to say, at least we can get out to the next motherfucker who is. Yeah. 13 Moon Lily. Good morning. We up on Friday smoking loud at the library. You feel me? It's a beautiful thing. And it's legal, so the police walk by and don't say shit. They don't say nothing. Sonny Test, what's cracking, cuz? We vibing in there a bit this morning. We ain't gonna be here for long. It's a little quick transit check. I'm gonna bring it to you a lot more often. It's Virgo season. We gotta get consistent. Queen Key, what's cracking? Hold on, we're running back. We ended it with this yesterday, but I want to hear it today before we get even started. I did the food when I made this one. I'm here to put some positivity up in you. Push it inside you. Where's everybody checking in from this morning? It's 8:36 in Narnia. Do you know what your motherfucking vibe is? Yeah. Well, you came to the right place to raise your vibration. That's what I specialize in. Yeah. I'm doing excellent. I can't speak for the rest of y'all, but I'm looking better than I feel, but I feel fantastic. Yeah. Getting my weight back up and everything. Yeah, that's it. Excuse me. Hey, Beats by Bless Zone Now Music. What's cracking? angle my hat keeps looking crooked to me. It don't, I mean, it don't feel crooked, but it looks crooked when I'm looking at the camera. Like my head is skinny on this side over here. So let me see. Oh, there we go. There we go. Excuse me. You gotta be careful, it's Virgo season. A little bitty shit'll fuck you up. We're gonna fuck around and do the Uncle Fernando today. We're gonna relate everything back to Virgo. Hey man, once again, shout out Uncle Fernando, man. I'm going through it, man. A lot of people are. For real. But I'm not. Not today. Sorry for him. Now, is y'all ready to talk about what's going on cosmically real quick? Because we're on a little different energetic shift than yesterday. See, yesterday we were in that Gemini moon. Today we're in that Cancer moon. We're gonna talk about that here in a second. And with the sun, we always gonna start there. Because first of all, the sun is not the most important placement. Not in transit, not in your natal chart. I'm letting you know. I don't care what anybody else says, it's not the most important placement. The moon sign is. What the moon is doing is most important in a natal chart and in transit because it is in the closest proximity to us here on Earth. And it has the strongest influence on our moods on a day-to-day basis, on a minute-to-minute basis, on an hour-to-hour basis. You feel me? Now, I will say this. The aspects that the sun makes are the most important. And I've told some of y'all this before, but I'm going to reiterate it real quick. The moon, where it's placed, is the most important placement. But the aspects that the sun are making are the most important because it's shining a light on things. Negative things, positive things, whatever the aspects that the sun are making are the most prominent. Whereas the ascendant point, even in an event chart, is going to be the most significant place in that chart. So the ascendant point is going to be the most significant placement. The aspects that the sun make are going to be the most prominent. And the moon sign is the most important. So you have importance, prominence, and significance. All right? And those all mean different things. Now, with the sun is still in Virgo. So the little things still count the most. But what I want to implore you to do today is be useful today. Be of service today. Do whatever you can to help somebody. I'm not talking about saving the world. I'm talking about lending a helping hand, giving a positive affirmation. I'm talking about even if you have to tell somebody something that they didn't want to hear, but you know it's going to help them. We in that. Let's see what you can do as an individual to be more consistent. Let's do that. All right. But more than anything else, this is a 6 vibration numerologically today. So instead of the 9, what this is more a nurturing type energy. So be there for somebody. You don't know who needs somebody to be there for them. See, as I was speaking on Uncle Fernando, I can see him, and I don't know him personally. I've interacted with him, but I don't know him personally. And in me knowing and obviously seeing what's going on with him, it makes you want to reach out to him. Now, sometimes that's offensive to people because I don't know him personally, so I couldn't do that. But that emotion is definitely there. The want to is definitely there because, like, I can just sense that there's a lot of people that are going through it, man. And as I see myself gaining strength, and as I see myself, you know, becoming more and more, you know, firm in my stance against fear right now, it just makes me want to come out and help people. It makes me want to be able to lend a helping hand with people myself. And so, and I'm not talking about my usual advice, which is I'm great at. No, I'm talking about, hey, shutting the fuck up and listening if I need to. And that's one of the hardest things for me to do. Because I can see what's going on with you, I can sense certain things, and I can give you all this great advice. But one of the hardest things for me to do is just shut up and be supportive. And so this is going to be one of those things where today, let's see what you can do to be of good use when it comes to helping somebody else. All right? Now, the moon. The moon is in Cancer. And it's funny that the moon is in Cancer and we're in that 6th vibration, because I always like to liken the 6th vibration to Cancer energy. Even though some would say the 6 is ruled by Venus and the 2 is ruled by the moon, I would definitely say the 6 is more Cancer energy and the 2 is more Libra energy. Now, it's not exact. There's going to be other little correlations in there. But that's what I see. So, the moon is now at 4 degrees of Cancer. And I spoke on the moon without speaking on the aspects that the sun has going on, because the sun really is just trying to Jupiter. We've talked about that over and over again. And even though Jupiter is retrograde, this right here is just trying to stay calm and taking care of what you can take care of. Usually with the sun trying to Jupiter, this is a big, boisterous, positive energy, and it's, it's like, oh man, today everything is a go. You can make you should gamble. We can make positive things happen today. This, and that. But this is Virgo and Taurus, and Jupiter is retrograde. So all you can do is take care of the things that you can take care of, stay on the grind, and stay calm. And then allow things to play out the way they're going to play out with this. And obviously, if you put the work in, it's just all about letting it pay off. So, with the moon, and the moon being in Cancer, this is a very emotional time for some people. You're going to hear people say, oh man, every time the moon's in Cancer, I end up crying, or this. And it's because emotions are flowing more freely than usual. The moon is at home in Cancer, and that shit is flowing freely. Now, I myself, I happen to have my sun at 4 degrees of Cancer. So, what's crazy is I'm not necessarily a really overly expressive person. I cry all the time. I'm very sensitive, but being a Cancer sun, I kind of keep my emotions to myself. But when the moon is in Cancer, it's a lot harder to do so, because it's setting off everything else in my chart. Especially right now when it's exactly conjunct my sun and trine my moon and trine my Pluto and opposite my Neptune, and it's just setting off a lot of stuff. And so I just feel things more deeply and more prominently than usual. And that's what a lot of people are going to experience with this. But here's the thing. The moon is also, for the rest of the day as it progresses, and I'm just talking about through the day to day, it's going to start out square to Mars, and then it'll trine Saturn, or it's already, no, it's trine to Saturn right now. And then it's going to slowly come into a square with Mars. And then it'll work its way this evening into a sextile with Mercury. And then tonight, a sextile with Jupiter. And it's like an energetic progression. Let me put you up on game how it's doing this. See, we're starting out with it trying to Saturn. So this morning, you got the moon trying to Saturn in Pisces. So there's going to be right there a conflict between emotions and limits. So you feel some type of way, but it's like you can't express it. It's like, man, it's not a frustrating feeling, but it's just stuff inside of you is moving around. You start to feel those feelings moving around, but you don't really know what to do with them, and it's hard to express how you feel. But as this energy starts to progress, you're going to see a lot of people with the moon coming into that square with Mars. Now it's out. The frustration is there. Now, and it's in Libra. So people kind of start to react about stuff. Like even me within my relationship, I saw it last night and this morning. Like little bitty stuff. Like I'm like, hey, I usually wouldn't speak on it, but I feel like I better speak on it. It's like I felt like I was getting pushed into speaking on something at home that had something, you know, that had something to do with the kids and our relationship and all this other stuff. And so I'm kind of like, I'm feeling some type of way about it. But the problem is with Mars in Libra, I don't really feel some type of way about the situation. I feel some type of way about how it makes me feel. You get what I'm saying? And so I'm reacting about the situation because of how I feel instead of just straight up addressing how I felt, which is what I did this morning. But last night, I couldn't, and it caused a conflict. Last night, it was more or less like, I felt some type of way, and so I was acting like kind of like an asshole, or I was being abrasive because I felt like I was getting handled some type of way in the situation. Well, I mean, in another situation. So because I felt some type of way about another situation, my Libra rising and Cancer Sun ass was kind of being, having a little attitude or being difficult to deal with, because in other situations, just to prove like I'm not a bitch. And it was perfect Mars and Libra energy playing out. Just to prove like, hey, you can't handle me like that. Just to prove like, hey, I am my own person, when that shit is reactionary. If I would have just asserted it and handled it off the rip, it wouldn't have been a problem. So with Moon square to Mars, these feelings start to come about and you start to get irritated, and then it starts to cause arguments or problems or fights or just frustration. And so it's really because everything is reactionary with Cancer and Libra. So you're seeing people just being a lot more reactive than they usually are. And then what ends up happening is, as this energy progresses tonight into that sextile with Mercury, even though Mercury's retrograde, that's where the irritations and the minor stuff and all that leads to probably a conversation, maybe even an argument with this retrograde, or sharp criticisms. But as it progresses, it goes into Jupiter. But Jupiter's retrograde too, so it's kind of like, it's like there's a stubbornness it progresses into, or a calm, or it deads the situation, or it's a standstill. And all that leads to is, as it progresses into tomorrow, you have the moon coming into aspect with Uranus, and then Neptune, and then finally Pluto the day after tomorrow. And so there's this crazy energetic progression of emotions as the moon is going through Cancer right here. And it's going to present everybody, and let me take that back. I don't want to say everybody. It's going to present a lot of people with this emotional release that might not be comfortable, but it's definitely necessary. It's definitely necessary. Because crazy as it is, besides the black moon Lilith, the moon is about to aspect and Venus also. The black moon Lilith and Venus. The moon is about to aspect everything in the sky being in Cancer over the next 36 hours. And so you're just gonna see this crazy emotional progression, and it's really the release that you need before we go into this new moon in a few days. It's healthy for you. We're coming into a Virgo new moon here soon. And so this emotional release, and then a little fun, maybe a little drama while we got the moon in Leo, will prepare you to refocus and get back on the grind. Virgo new moon. If you just pay attention to the transits, you'll see there is a process going on all of the time. There is a progression of this energy. It makes you really look at it and realize this shit is not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. It's scary sometimes, because it makes you really wonder about free will for real. It makes you wonder about free will for real. Now, let me fix my hat. Hold on. What does that bring us to now? That brings us to Mercury. And Mercury is still retrograde until the 14th. And Mercury is now at 11 degrees of Virgo. And over the next 6 days, Mercury is going to slow down. So it's going to kind of maybe move just 3 more degrees. It's going to station at 8 degrees. And I just realized that's opposite my moon. Anyway, all of these planets have stationed in aspect to my shit. But I mean, I guess that's just the process of growth. All these transits been popping off on me for a long time now. But I need like 5 more of y'all to hit the like button right now before I knock all this shit over. Stop playing with me. Now, see, my hat is all crooked and shit. Now, with Mercury here retrograde in Virgo and it now being at 11 degrees, what I would say is little bitty unexpected stuff, little bitty details, once again, that you overlooked. Now, it's like, it's an annoyance for you. Like, and you still didn't take, like, I was telling y'all about my car yesterday. The check engine light just popped on. It always does that in Mercury retrograde. Well, I didn't do anything to my car, but the check engine light just went back off. And most people are going to think, well, no, it's probably okay. No, the check engine light came on for a fucking reason. And just because it went off does not mean that the car is okay. It means that something electrically triggered it either to come on or go off. So either you have an electrical issue or you have an issue that is not a consistent issue with your vehicle. But it's a minor thing that you need to take care of, because something like that, you overlook it and think, oh, it's good. And then your ass be broke down on the side of the road for real. You at work, you forget to take care of a minor detail at work. Now you're having to do everything over. Or now something's messed up. Your boss didn't put the time in right. Now everybody's getting paid late. I mean, there's so many different ways that this could play out. There's so many different ways that this could play out. The best thing you can do is stay on top of your shit so it don't play out on you. That's the trick to it. Stay on top of your shit so that Mercury retrograde don't play out on you. If it comes to exes contacting you, or you don't leave that communication line open. It's that simple. But right now, you could also see people letting perfectionism fuck them up. Like they want to do things so perfect, and they're so focused on doing things a certain way that they get stuck and nothing gets done at all. That's the thing that you could see. You can see people missing the forest for the trees. a lot more easily. People so stuck on one small thing that they're not seeing the big picture at all. You can see people just not getting it. Like, you could be talking, and you'd be like, man, this motherfucker just don't get it. They just don't get it. You can see yourself being highly critical of people. Like, the first thing you notice is what's wrong with everything. And the thing is, you're so worried about what's wrong with everything that you're not seeing what's wrong with you. Yeah, you fucked up. You really fucked up. Not them, you. Hold on. I think I'm missing some super chats here. No, I'm not. I just couldn't see my chats. Hold on. There we go. Now, this brings me to Mars. No, Venus. Venus. I ain't gonna skip Venus. Venus is still at 12 degrees of Leo. Venus is gonna be stationed here at 12 degrees of Leo for another day or so. And I'm loving it. My Venus is 12 degrees of Leo. So I'm feeling myself. I'm everything. I'm everything. I've been in my, like, man. Like, I can't tell you how much I love my mirror, man. Like, for real. I really haven't never met a mirror I didn't like. Not me. Not even since I was a little kid. I never seen a mirror I didn't like. Maybe the ones in prison that ain't really mirrors. It's just like a, like a, I don't even know what to call it. A stainless steel plate. You can't see shit in that motherfucker. But, yeah. With Venus and Leo here, man, sitting at 12 degrees. What is special to you? Ask yourself what's special to you. Ask yourself what is special to you. Hey, hold on. Germ Magi. What's up, fam? Where you been? Yeah, what's up, bro? Yeah, I'm back, fam. I'm good. I'm good. I'm me. Arthur Pillmore, you finna get blocked, bro. I love you, bro. You can watch, but now you can't talk. You came in here playing in my chat. I got Mars in Capricorn. I don't play. I'm playful, but I don't play. So, arrivederci. Now, with Venus here in Leo, ask yourself, what's special to you? And what do you need to feel special? Those, and I'm not going to elaborate any further. You need to ask yourself that. If you're in a relationship and you don't feel special, you need to do something about that. If you're in a relationship and that person doesn't feel special being with you, you need to do something about that. That's real. You got to do something about it. If you're a creative person and you feel like the stuff you're doing is not everything, and when I say everything, I'm talking about special, valuable, your heart and soul was put into it. If it's not that, you need to reassess why you're doing what you're doing. If you're in a relationship and you feel it doesn't feel like it's there, then you need to communicate or you need to excommunicate. And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes that's just growth. Sometimes that's just growth. For real. Now, this brings us to Mars. Venus is at 12 degrees of Leo. My bad, QuicK. Hey, y'all, for those of y'all that don't know, QuicK is just brownie. She didn't try to come in here with the espionage, and we ain't with it. We fronting her out like always. She tried to switch her name up so we don't know who she is. We know you. We know you and Taekwondo fucked up the Valentine's Day spectaculars for everybody. Can't even do them no more. No, I would stay out y'all business. I would stay out y'all business for real. I would be quiet. Y'all fucked them up. Yeah. Brittany and Ty fucked up Valentine's Day spectaculars for everybody. We ain't had them in 2 years because of them. For real. That was the last hope. They let us down. Some bullshit. Fuck that. We don't care about y'all being friends. We don't want y'all to be friends. We trying to put success stories together. Oh, no. If you need something, I don't know who just sent that message that was asking for help, but if you need some help, hit me up, and I'll do that. We'll see what we can do to help you. But because of scamming, I cannot allow that to be placed here on my channel, because they might, when you see somebody asking for money in the chats, that gets flagged by YouTube. So if you do need something, you can hit my email up at mr.turner1300@gmail.com, because there's many times people have helped me. So whoever just tried to post their Cash App and ask for money right there, I cannot allow that message to be posted, because it'll get flagged because of the scamming that goes on all over the place. But what I can do is tell you to contact me personally in my email, and I will talk to you, and we can work something out together. Okay? It's all love. Now, with Mars is still in Libra. Mars is at 7 degrees of Libra. So you just see people getting their way by compromising right now. But you could also see people walking around angry and frustrated and having a fucked up attitude, or having some passive aggressive behaviors going on because they're compromising. It goes both ways, unfortunately. Like, with this right here, the compromising energy is there, but as I've said over and over again, with Mars in Libra, people are too easily impressed, too easily influenced, and too over-conciliatory. And then people feel some type of way about the shit that they gave in about. And so they got to do something about that. They got to do something about that on their own. What's up, smoldering embers? Smoldering embers. What's cracking? Now, my jaw is hurting, and I ain't did nothing to make it hurt. It's starting to scare me. I hope this motherfucker ain't finna swell up or something. I hope I ain't got a bad tooth in that bitch or something. Oh, that's better. But, yeah, man. Mars in Libra is Mars in Libra. Mars is in detriment in Libra. And we got about a month of Mars being in Libra still. Yeah. And we also have Jupiter retrograde, 15 degrees of Taurus. Jupiter is going to be retrograde until New Year's Eve, December 31st. Damn, this hat keeps riding up on the side of my head. Let me fix this shit. And I don't know why this motherfucker's pissing me off. Excuse my language. I feel like I haven't said motherfucker enough. But with Jupiter here, man, laziness. This is Jupiter. Laziness, stubbornness, it make you miss your blessings. Like I told you to chill, I didn't tell you to stop. Like that's the thing with that. And also like stubbornness now. It takes more internalized. It takes the luck away from those external situations, and it takes that Jupiter energy, stubborn in a motherfucker. I see it at home. My lady feels some type of way about her job, about some shit that's going on at her job, and she would not let it go. She has Venus in Scorpio anyway, but now just Jupiter in Taurus is opposite to that and shit. Like, so she will not let the shit go, man. Like, she just won't let it go. And I'm like, man, like, that shit is over with and dead. But she won't let it go. But yeah, this is where stubbornness and laziness can get in the way of blocking your blessings. And the only way to deal with that is deal with that internally with yourself. I can't do nothing for you about it. I'm already lazy and stubborn. I'm already lazy and stubborn. I have Leo placements. All right. Now, that brings us to Saturn. And Saturn is at 2 degrees of Pisces. So, being retrograde and staying retrograde until November 4th, with Saturn here, you just have to deal with the fear. You have to deal with the doubt. You have to ask yourself why you're limiting yourself, why you're holding yourself back, why you are wasting your own energy worrying about shit and stressing about shit you can't fucking control. Life is gonna keep lifing. You can't avoid it or escape it. You have to deal with the emotions. Situations are gonna keep happening. It's how you react to them and how you deal with the emotions that are everything. That's what counts. That's what counts. That's what counts. I'm gonna keep telling y'all every fucking day. People are gonna get sick, people are gonna die, bills are gonna come, relationships are gonna fuck up, kids are gonna be bad than a motherfucker, bills gonna keep coming. Like, that's a part of life. You can't escape none of that shit. You can't escape none of that shit. What you can do is deal with the fear about it. What you can do is address your worries. What you can do is stop limiting yourself with fears of rejection, or fears of sickness, or fears of whatever. Fear of isolation. Like, you gotta deal with the feelings. And that's the thing with this retrograde. And this is Pisces, so this is even more prominent. It's not about the external situations. Do you hear me? It's not about the external situations. It's about the fear. What are you gonna do with the fear? I say fuck fear. Fuck it. And speaking of fear, going back to Jupiter, let me also tell y'all that with Jupiter retrograde in Taurus, what you can see is people not being able to be calm. Financial issues and stuff like that, they're gonna start worrying about it a lot. You're gonna see people like, and there's the little minor stuff like bills and this, like you're gonna see people like it's gonna, instead of them just knowing that they can take care of what they can take care of and they're gonna take care of their stuff, you're gonna see people starting to let those financial issues fuck with them. So that's another thing. You have to ask yourself, is that fear relevant? Because sometimes even when financial shit, like you can only do what you can do. And when you start worrying about money issues or you start letting that money stuff fuck with you, not only does it fuck with your relationships, but it also starts to fuck with your value system, which is something I've told you over and over again. You start to consider to do things that you wouldn't normally do because you need money. You gotta be careful with that. You gotta be careful with that. Now, that right there ultimately brings us to Uranus. And Uranus is at 23 degrees of Taurus retrograde. Uranus is going to be retrograde until January 27th. So what's good about this is there's going on that's going to knock you out, make you feel uncomfortable, you know, with whatever's coming up. The external situations are going to calm down a little bit. But what you have to do with this is now use this time to take inventory, as I'm going to tell you over and over again when we talk about this retrograde. Take inventory of what you have to work with moving forward. This is Taurus here. All right? You have to realize this is chess. It's not checkers. So if you look now, you can see how much your situation has changed over the last 8 or 9 months. And I guarantee you, everybody's situation is different than it was 8 or 9 months ago. Could be better, could be worse. You know, it could be in flux. It could be more stable. It could be less stable. But everybody's shit is different. Mine is completely different. And it's because of everything that went on. Like, I can look back over the last 8 months and see, oh, my sister's died. I had that legal issue. Like, I had to end up asking help for people with my sister's funeral. I had to ask for help for people with being able to have somewhere to be at because I couldn't be at home. I still have to keep trying to get an attorney. I still have that legal issue. I spent thousands of dollars having to stay in a hotel, which didn't even help my situation any. It just fucked off the money. My family's savings. Like, everything is changed. Like, everything is changed. And so now we come into this thing where it's like you have to look back and see how everything has changed and see and you have to look at see how you can do it differently. This is where you find unique opportunities and in ways for you to better your situation. But in order to do so, you have to reassess how you're doing things. And that's not always comfortable. There's the Taurus energy. There's Uranus. It's not going to be comfortable. Because you're going to realize things about yourself and about your situation that might be unsettling. It might be unsettling. So that's up to you how you deal with it, player. Now, that right there brings me to Neptune. Neptune is still retrograde too. Neptune's at 26 degrees of Pisces. Neptune is going to be retrograde until December 4th. Now, with Neptune doing that retrograde thing, it really is just about seeing things a different way, but not letting it confuse you. Because a lot of times that shit doesn't matter. What matters is what's going on inside of you. You have an inner compass. It doesn't always have to be a moral compass, but you do have an inner compass that's there to guide you towards what you need to be doing with your energy. And a lot of the times, there's going to be distractions, there's going to be illusions, there's going to be delusions, there's going to be confusion, and it's there for a reason. Yeah, you came here to learn a lesson. You didn't come here to read a book. The lesson comes with the experience. That's why you weren't given a manual. So you have to trust your inner guide to take you where you need to go. And there's everybody else in the world who has their own things going on, their own agenda going on, their own role they're playing, their own things. And so we get so caught up watching everybody else or with the trends of the culture that a lot of times we get confused to what our purpose is about. And the fact of the matter is, perspective and perception, those are two things you need to learn how to differentiate between. And I said that before because they sound so similar, but they mean different things. Because you can perceive a lot of people's perspective. But your perception of the situation has to be what's central to your journey. All right, now, that right there brings me to Pluto. Pluto being at 28 degrees of Capricorn still, I think. Yeah, 28 degrees of Capricorn still. And as I've kind of been telling y'all, with Neptune being sextile to Pluto and Pluto being square to the nodes, there's just this major process of change that's being brought out. And it's being brought about by the hard times we're going through, by the mistrust we have in the government, by the frustration and the stress. Like, hey, you're gonna have to do something. In this day and age, you're gonna have to do something. It might not be fun, it might be terrifying, it might be empowering, but you're gonna have to do something. That's what's going on. The tendency is to look for everybody else to make decisions for you or get that. That's why you have Pluto also squared to the South Node, because you can't do that. But being square to the North Node, it's not going to be easy to push forward on your own either, because you do have responsibilities. And so the stress of our responsibilities the distractions of the culture with Neptune sextile to Pluto. That forces out changes. And in our relationships, the tendency is always for people to, what I said yesterday, trauma bond, or people to look to somebody else to help them, or look to somebody else to do something for them, or even look for consultation and somebody to tell them what they need to do. No, 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 no. You have to do your shit on your own. That's why the Black Moon Lilith is trying to it. You got to be confident in yourself. You got to say fuck everybody else. Be bold in your approach, and you got to do something for you. Your truth has to be what comes out of you. Speaking it and experiencing it. Regardless of what anybody else has to say about it or what anybody else feels. This is your health. This is your life. This is your well-being. This is your spirituality. You got to take action. Everybody always cares what everybody else has going on and the influence of this and me. Like, man, fuck all that. Fuck all that. If you need to make changes for you, you need to make changes for you. But the minute that you let somebody else do that for you, you did nothing but set yourself back. You did nothing but keep yourself from your destiny. Don't do that. I appreciate the love, L. And then Chiron, 19 degrees of Aries. We talked about this over and over again. This is just about accountability. This progression that goes through this over and over again as we're in Aries, as it cycles these degrees, is awareness, accountability, action, healing. Awareness, accountability, action, healing. So as you have this going through Aries, when it's direct, it's either about awareness or action. And it depends on what process it's going through with whatever it's aspecting for you. So it comes into aspect. The first thing you experience is awareness. There comes into an awareness that there's a conflict or a problem or there's something that needs to be addressed. Then it'll retrograde and you get this chance to look at and hold yourself accountable for why this issue is there in the first place. Some people can't just address things right off the rip. They have to know why. And then as it comes back direct, it allows you to take action, which leads towards healing. But then it's going to come into an aspect with something else as soon as it progresses into the next few degrees. You got things throughout your chart in all kinds of different degrees. And so as soon as that Chiron comes into aspect with something else, there goes another conflict. This is Aries. Awareness, accountability, action, healing. It's simple. It's never complicated with Aries. Me being a Libra rising, that's probably why I love Aries energy so much, is because Aries energy is straight up. You don't have to guess where you stand with Aries, or you don't have to wonder what's going on under. No, it's straight up. And I need that because I'm not always straight up. I'm usually not. Unless I'm in a relationship. And that's different. That's something completely different. Nigga, that sounds sick. My fucking jaw is hurting, man. I think I slept on it fucked up. Crazy as it is in my hand like this on my jaw. And with the Black Moon Lilith at 27 degrees of Leo, look. the only way for you to build true confidence in yourself is to be authentic in your approach. That means you got to kill the character you're playing. And a lot of people are. They're just playing a character. They're not being who they really are. They're not expressing their authentic energy. They're playing into expectations, or they're pandering to an audience. They're living an egocentric life. And you need your ego to live. You can't kill your ego, but you do need to incorporate. You can't be playing a character. It's about being genuine and once again, staying authentic in your approach. When you do that, that sets you free to be confident, to be whoever you need to be. And the only person you ever need to be is who the fuck you really are, regardless of what anybody else thinks about it, or what any expectations of you are. Sorry, I got distracted. The dude looking at me funny, and I was trying to stay a good spiritual guy. I don't want to get up in Shawn Michaels' sweet chin music his ass. But yeah, that's why there's a triangle with Lilith and the North Node right now. Like, you got to be you and be fearless and be in you. But first, maybe you need to figure out who you are, and that takes awareness. Not what people expect of you or what your relationship is about. Who are you? It's funny that mine, is in Aries in my 7th house. Me defining myself makes my relationships better. The only way for my relationships to be healthy is for me to be straight up and be honest, and for me to be an assertive person. The minute that I let my relationship rule my life is the minute that I let my relationship fail. But when my relationship rules my life, I'm the type of person that I start doing things that just serve that relationship, and that's not always honest, because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, or I just want to keep the relationship going, or I just want to make sure that I'm doing what at the same time. Because of my Libra rising nature, and because of my South Node in my 1st house there, my first tendency is to be nice and put on, to make everything pretty and sugarcoat shit and do this and, compromise and manipulate and just, instead of just being fucking straight up. Being fucking straight up. And that's big. That's big. Now, that leads me to the numerology of the day. The numerology, hold on, I think we finna die here. But let me take this out real fast. The numerology of the day, we are sitting in the 6th vibration with an 8 connotation to it. So, it's funny because the 6 and the 8, the 8 is boss energy. It's power. It's about empowerment. And it's about taking control. Taking control of your life. Taking control of the situation. Learning how to boss up without being tyrannical. But the 6 is about nurturing and helping. So maybe somebody needs help today and they can't say it. They don't want to say it. They don't, it's hard for them to communicate that. It makes them feel weak. So maybe it's up to you to step up, boss up, and say, hey man, I see you going through. I know you hurting. I'm here for you. Maybe you don't even need to say nothing at all. Maybe you know there's some shit going on at your house, or some shit going on with somebody, and because they can't say it, there's no point in you saying it. You just need to go help them. You just need to go be there for them. Sometimes somebody just needs somebody solid standing with them. I was listening to Raekwon from Wu-Tang give an interview, and I've been all into Wu-Tang here lately, I know. But I was listening to Raekwon from Wu-Tang give an interview, and he was talking about Ghostface Killah. And they asked him, you know, how did him and Ghostface become so close, even though their hoods kind of were at cross purposes with each other before this. And he just said, Ghost is solid. He's like, and when I needed somebody solid beside me, like, he was always solid. Like, he's always been solid. And Ghost is a Taurus, funny as it is. Raekwon is a Capricorn with a Pisces moon. I forgot Ghostface's moon sign, but he's a Taurus. And it's funny that a Capricorn, you know, as much as a Capricorn is a Capricorn, that Taurus is a solid presence to him. Whereas RZA is a Cancer Sun Pisces moon, like myself. RZA's a Cancer Sun Pisces moon. Raekwon's a Capricorn Sun Pisces moon. Method Man is a Pisces. I forgot his moon. Yeah. And Old Dirty was a Scorpio with a Virgo moon. And you see that, as crazy as it is, a lot of the people that die young have a Scorpio sun or a Scorpio moon. A lot of the people that you know that die young, live those intense lives, have those really prominent Scorpio placements. Not Venus and Mars, and those are prominent in their own way, but sun or moon, rising. That's what you'll see more than anything else. Is those people there tend to have a, what's the word I'm looking for? A shorter but more intense life. My daughter says that sometimes, and it scares me, really, Nita. But she's already past where she used to say, I'm not gonna live till I'm 20 something, and I'm like, you are already now. So, but yeah, she's like that. She's a Sagittarius. She says stuff like that. She used to say stuff like that. She doesn't anymore, but she used to say stuff like that. And I get upset by people saying stuff like that, so she probably wouldn't say it in my presence anyway. So, you know, that's another one of those things that is what it is. Now, I think the floor is now open for any questions y'all may have. We're going to open the floor up for 30 minutes. 30 minutes, and then I got to go. And I'll probably be back Sunday with the top 5. I know I usually do it on Friday, but if I can work around football, it'll be Sunday or Monday. We might switch it to Monday. Matter of fact, I'm saying it now. We're going to do the top 5 on Monday. Yeah, Sag people say that's because they experience a lot of stuff. They really want to experience. And so sometimes, you know, that can lead them to believe that one day that they're going to be reckless. Or that one day they're going to live too, you know, it's going to take them beyond that. But they just get wiser. A lot of Sagittarius are lucky and they just get wiser and they get away with stuff that other people wouldn't be able to get away with. Like, my daughter, I used to see her, she's so cool and she'd go up and talk to anybody. And, you know, being a teenager, you know, I would hear stuff about her, you know, and not like sex, but her just, you know, getting in the car with people. And her, like, I would meet a dude in the hood that I know is a G. And then this motherfucker would know my child. And I'm talking about when she was like 18, 19, you know what I'm saying? When she was 17 or 18, but I was like, man, how the fuck you know? Oh, he's like, and I'm like, man, what the fuck? And that shit, you know, and she was at home all the time. Like, so I'm wondering, like, what the fuck? How did this motherfucker know my, you know what I mean? Like, but it's the Sagittarius shit, man. that Sagittarius shit. What's up, Tyrone? Yeah, my jaw is tripping, man. It's fucking me up. It scared me. Anything that starts hurting starts scaring me these days. But nah, I'll be alright. And Tyrone, you said, how do Venus Cazimi square Jupiter stop smoking? Huh? What, you trying to stop smoking? So you have Venus exactly conjunct your sun square Jupiter. And you're asking how you stop smoking. Stop smoking bud? I wish I could tell you. I ain't never stopped. Yeah, I can't tell you how to do it, bro. I took breaks, but I never really stopped. When I was in prison is the only time I stopped, and it's just because I couldn't access it. Now, when I was on parole, even then I had a real hard time, but I substituted. And the very minute I thought I could get away with smoking bud, I did. I'm a Pisces moon, bro. Unless I was on paper or locked up, I have smoked bud every single day, all day, since I was 14 years old. I remember when I was 15. I was 14. I was 14 or 15. I used to work selling newspaper subscriptions. So we would go sell newspaper subscriptions door to door. They would take us to these little towns outside of our town, and we would go sell the newspaper subscriptions for our hometown or whatever. And I mean, I made a little money because I was good at it, but I would get my whole check, right? Which would be like $150, maybe $200 a week if it was a really good week. But I would get my whole check, and I didn't know how to roll blunts then. But I would get my whole check. I might buy me an outfit. But after I bought me an outfit, I would just buy $100 or $200 in rolled up blunts. And just smoke them. My aunt used to sell rolled up blunts in the hood. She had a blunt house, that's used to call it. And so you could go in there and get one blunt for $5 or 3 for $10. And so I would go in there, give me an outfit, and then I would spend the rest on rolled up blunts. And then I go around and smoke my niggas out, you know what I'm saying? And then be broke for the rest of the week while I was working. I got my ass whooped by my best friend over some weed one time. I threw a fit about some weed the way that some weed heads do. That motherfucker whooped me like I... Let's put it like this. He's way bigger than me, though. I ain't gonna make excuse, but his weight class for a reason. He's like 6'1", 260. At that time, I was maybe 5'9", 145. Now, right now, I'm 5'10", or 5'11", with my shoes on. But I'm like 5'10" or 5'11", 185. And when I was really, you know, a lot bigger a few months ago, I was 200. All right. I mean, I've gained a lot of weight back. I had got down to 160 again a few weeks, 2 months ago. But I've gained my weight back. But yeah, man. I remember one day we couldn't find no weed, and I was like in one of them fucking fucked up crybaby ass moods. So this girl that I was talking to, now we weren't together in a relationship, but me and her kind of messed around. She came over. Hold on, let me answer Adil's question. Adil Hamid, you said, so are there any strengths about Mars in Libra or Uranus in Taurus? I'm trying to think of some strengths with Mars and Libra. Yeah, I mean, like I said, people are gonna seem like they're getting along better. People are more willing to compromise. But people are also more frustrated. So there's less conflict, more frustration. And then as far as Uranus and Taurus, yeah, if you don't be too stubborn or get too stuck in your ways, there's going to be unique opportunities for you to profit. There's been unique opportunities for profiting. Like, we've seen that since the pandemic and since the nature of business has changed so many different ways. There is way different. Look at all the people, like even here, like YouTube, you could make a little bit of money before, but now like you can see people with Facebook, with professional mode, with everything, like you're getting monetized in every way possible. So because of Uranus and Taurus, if you're not too stubborn and stuck in the way things are, and you're not sitting up there mad because this is the way society is, then there's unique opportunities for you to profit. There it is. Anyway, back to the story I was telling real fast. And yeah, I think I clench my teeth when I sleep or something. I don't know. My fucking jaw hurts. It hurts on this side only, and it's like the tendon thing, yeah, that when you clench, it hurts when I clench. But that shit is hurting. That shit, it hurt. Now, yeah, not everybody can profit on on social media, but there's ways. Well, really, you can. It's just because you're not doing your face or you're not doing this thing that I'm doing here. Like, there's other ways to profit on social media. There's all types of ways to profit. Yes, you can. Everybody can profit on social media. If you're active enough, if you're willing to be active enough, you can. It doesn't mean you are, because it does take a certain amount of effort and stuff like that. You've seen people fall making what? What is TMJ? Oh, fail making it. You've seen people fail making it. I thought you said fall making it. I mean, that's them, but there was an opportunity for them to make it, though. Lots of people can fail. Yes, you can fail. I mean, that doesn't take away from the fact that you can do it. Not everybody can do it. It doesn't mean you will. Yeah, it's whatever this is right here. This fucking, it's on this side over here. And I think I slept like this. I don't want to Google. I'm not Googling nothing. That's how I got sick as I am, is by Googling symptoms. So I'm not finna Google nothing. I don't got no fucking TMJ. Whatever that is, my jaw will be okay tomorrow. I slept on it wrong, or I pushed it. And I still messed up because I punched myself in the jaw a few days ago. It felt better yesterday, but... Or I have a bad tooth back there or something, and it's fucking with my jaw, and my shit's gonna swell up. That's also a possibility. But we're not Googling symptoms. We're not Googling that. Like, we're not doing that. That's how I ended up worrying and stressing and thinking I was dying for fucking months at a time before, is Googling. Dude, I'm telling anybody now, don't fucking Google nothing. If you hurt, take your ass to the doctor or do something. Trust your intuition, or do not fucking Google nothing. Do not fucking Google no fucking symptoms. It's the worst thing you'll do for yourself. My jaw will be fine. I slept fucked up, or I clenched it in my sleep. I punched myself last week, and it was fucked up, and I might have just re-irritated it. Like I literally was. My dog likes to shake this tire thing and play tug of war with it, and I was jerking it, and my hand popped off on it, and I just popped myself in the jaw a week ago, or almost a week and a half ago, and my shit was hurting real bad, and it's slowly but surely gotten better because my shit was. I've been punched before. I've boxed my whole life, so I know when your jaw got when you're getting punched, and your shit is fucked up over here, the little tendon over there, and so my little tendon is a tender and shit. Right now, my shit hurts when I clench or when I bite down, but it also could be a tooth issue, a gum issue. It could be a tension issue. It could be I slept wrong, but it ain't no fucking shit that I'm gonna Google. I'm not doing that ever again. I had to get Quora off my motherfucking phone. Like I looked at one Quora question, and then now Quora kept telling me, what's the first symptom of cancer that you had before you noticed? And now I'm going down the hole looking at everybody's first symptom that they noticed before they got diagnosed, and that ain't doing shit but making me feel scared myself. Like, fuck that shit. I probably need to go brush my goddamn teeth again. Thought I heard one of them gooses coming. There's some geese. Them geese will come over here and run up on you over here. Them ducks and them geese don't do no fucking playing. Yeah, I'm not fucking with Quora no more. Quora, Google, any of that shit. Fuck that. I'm a Pisces moon. I have other shit going on where I can't deal with that shit right now. Like, fuck that. I had diagnosed myself with every type of cancer before. I had fucking, like, man, I appreciate the love, Ideal Hamid. Like, I had just had myself just fucking diagnosed with everything. And when I stopped doing that shit, I started feeling better. So fuck that. We're not doing that. Can't do it. See, I had a friend that raps named TMJ. He's a white rapper. And I only say white rapper because I would also say black cowboy. So it's racist, but it's also is not prejudiced. And there's all kinds of rap, but you would still look at him as like, oh, that's a white rapper. And there's nothing wrong because the best one is white. The best ever is white. But the same way you say that, you would say black cowboy. But yeah, my boy TMJ. Timothy Michael James Williams. That's his real name. Oh, really? And then his brother's name is Mike, too. My brother's a black cowboy. My best friend, he died on in a motorcycle wreck, though. He was a black cowboy. But yeah, my brother's a black cowboy. My big brother is a black cowboy like a motherfucker. Oh, he's a mixed cowboy. He can't say he's half white. I mean, he's a little darker than me, but yeah. My brother, he's a black cowboy. A very successful one at that. Yeah. My daddy will throw on some cowboy boots and a cowboy hat and shit. He ain't a real cowboy, but he's a Gemini. He does all kinds of outfits. Some day he might dress like a gangster. One day he might walk around in pajamas all day long. One day he might say one day, I remember when I was little, he used to say he's a Crip. Now when I'm old, now he's 50 in his 50s. I remember he said, "Boy, I can't wait to throw my red on." I can wait. They know when they see me in the park, I ain't doing nothing. I don't care what those Crip niggas say. I'm ain't doing nothing but wearing nothing but red. Shut the fuck up, you fucking old, and nobody wants to hear that stupid ass shit. That's my daddy. Then someday he'll come with a cowboy boots on. Someday he'll have a fucking he'll come there and talk. You ain't never seen a nigga with a bow tie on and a t-shirt. Bro, I don't want to see you with a bow tie and a t-shirt. Stop smoking crack. Fucking Gemini. He'll keep it fly though. He don't ever look like a crackhead. He always dresses nice because his wife keeps him nice. And he always has money. But yeah. I'm the only nigga that wears a bow tie with a t-shirt, and you know my shirt is red. Shut the fuck up. Stop drinking E&J. Stay off the Erkenjerk. But yeah. We know you might not understand it, really, neither. I don't know what y'all have over there. Where you at right now? You in Belgium? You in France? You in the UK right now? Where you at? Really, neither. I mean, my brother's an Aquarius, so he's gonna be different. You know, that's how it is. He's born on Valentine's Day, but that's kind of how it's gonna be with a lot of them. He's an Aquarius with a Taurus moon, and no wonder his ass has so much money and don't want to get nobody none. But he'll get you a job. But how do I explain this? He's just different. And my dad, he just dresses different ways. He's in, but my brother, he stayed country. Like, he decided to go live with, like, when we were young, and when my mom died, my brother decided he wants to go live with his people. You know what I'm saying? We have different people, you know. And so he went to live, and he ended up working and living with this guy, this white guy, who owned a seamless rain gutter company. And my brother worked for him since he was 13 or 14 years old. And then as soon as by the time my brother was 18, he had his own seamless rain gutter company, and that flourished. Then he made his own energy drink there in West Texas. And then he bought a deer or a meat processing plant where all the hunters can bring their deer and their hog and all of the game that they're killing, and he processes the meat for them and makes the meat for them. So he built several business ventures that were successful. My brother did, and he just stayed on the right path all the time. And he's just always hung out with nothing but white folks. and he's a cow. I mean, he dresses country or cowboy. Always been like that. Always has. He's just been country. I was ghetto, he was country. Even when we grew up in the same house, same family. It can be like that in Texas. You'll see that like every now and then in Texas. But yeah, my brother's like that. Like, he never got in trouble. My brother, he's the type of person where my brother probably has not, he's 30 years old. And my brother has not slept with more than 5 or 6 people in his whole life. And he's not overly Christian. He goes to church because it's his duty, but that's just for him anyway. But that's just how he is. But at the same time, being an Aquarius, I ain't putting his business out there, but I've also been standing in the hood hustling before and had a nigga come up to me and be like, "Hey, bro, your brother down there in the car is smoking crack with some white boys." I'm like, what? So I got to go down there like, what? Sure enough, there's my brother, drunk high on crack with some fucking white boys. And so I got like, bro, what the fuck is you doing, bro? Like, this is not you. Don't fucking tell me what's not fucking me. I'll get out of this fucking car and kick your fucking ass. Leave me alone if I beat the shit out of you, bro. But yeah, my brother, being an Aquarius, you never know what to expect from him. But also, like, even if he wasn't my brother, he's the best person. He's the best person I've ever known. Like, when I say the best person, like, he has morals. I don't know where he got it from, but like, my brother has fucking morals and principles that he sticks to. And maybe it's Aquarius. Like, he's not a bad person. Like, he's just not he's weird and he does crazy shit sometimes and he's different than everybody else, but he's successful financially. He's always made sure he had money and had his bills paid and did all that shit. He has businesses and he's just a good guy. Like, I help people, right? And this is honest, I'm always honest with y'all, but I haven't always been a good guy. I've developed into a really good person because I realized that's my gift. But if my gift was anything else, I'd probably be doing that too. Like I've learned that this is, over time in my spiritual journey, that this is my karma, this is what I need to do, this is how I grow, and this is the thing. But my brother's always been a good guy. Appreciate the love, Drea. Yeah, y'all get a chart reading. I went hard on it, but yeah, my brother's just always been a good dude, man. And there's nothing else I could say about that. Like, and a lot of the Aquariuses I know are like, you know, they're weird, and the first thing people gonna bring back to is Blueface, but ain't nobody. I don't give a fuck about. Let me tell you something. If you watch Blueface and what either one of them females, you are lowering your vibration and disrespecting yourself. So I would never speak on that. For anybody that even knows who that is and what that is, don't ever speak on that around me. That shit is so fucking stupid. Like, you are disrespecting yourself. If you are in any way emotionally invested in him or that girl or either one of them, like, you got took. You got took. You're lowering your vibration. Now, anyway, like, my brother just been a good dude. I don't know why he's always been like that. He does flaws, like I said, but he's a good dude. And for him, like, because he was going back to work the next day, and he was like, when he was in the hood smoking dope or whatever, like, he just being young and having fun with his friends. He was just getting drunk. It's something he was doing. He didn't expect to run into his little brother there, but I mean, he was just having fun with his friends. Like, and there's nothing I can say about him because he could afford bond or bail or him. He was successful. Like, I'm in the hood hustling. He was in there enjoying himself. He wasn't a crackhead. He was smoking crack. And I mean, he didn't see nothing wrong with that at that point in time. Just don't tell his wife. He was drunk. That's all he said. Don't fucking tell. You better not fucking tell Kelly. So, I mean, that's how. But I remember one time when I was in college. See, when I was in college, I was married first. And then my wife left me because I was just being in college. And she got pregnant and I was not being a dad. I was, like, she got pregnant. We were married. She got pregnant. She was my high school sweetheart or whatever. Not sweetheart. She was my high school crush. She wasn't even, we didn't even date in high school. We dated right after high school. And I crushed on her since 8th grade. And then finally, when we got 18 and got right out of high school, like, she realized you know, being an Aries, she just realized I was like I was, you know, I really cared for her, or she just noticed me, I guess, you know what I mean, or just maybe I came into I started looking, you know, that's what happened. She finally stopped playing the game, and we got together, we got married, she got pregnant, but I didn't change. Like as soon as she got pregnant, she became a mom. Are you asking me a question, Mato from the Cosmo? Or are you just telling me your placements? But as soon as she got pregnant, she became a mom. But it didn't happen like that for me. I was in college. I was rapping at the time. I had a record deal. Like, I was making music videos. I was fucking, you know what I mean? I was feeling myself. And she told me that later on. She's like, you were so worried about being Roddy that, you know, you wasn't worried about your family or me. Even though that's what you know, you might have been in love with me and you know, but you was just caught up in being you. And I mean, that's ultimately the truth. Even when she left me, it was more about her leaving me and, you know, me, you know, her not being my wife no more than me losing somebody I loved and me messing up the relationship. It was more like the possess or the ego and the possessiveness of like, damn, like, I know you ain't leaving me, you know what I'm saying? And even beyond that, it's like, you my wife. Ooh, and then it's also like that Cancer emotional guilt trip shit where it's like, we said this was to death do us part, and you already giving up. But bro, like, the fact of the matter is, I never put my heart into it. How can you expect somebody not to give up when you didn't put your heart into it in the first place? Appreciate the love, Loopy, also. And so, in experiencing that, you know, it's like, I love there's nothing more. I love my wife and my child, but I love my lifestyle and what I was doing more. And so I was hustling and rapping and staying out and staying gone for 2-3 days at a time. And I had, you know, a girl I was messing around with in this little town, and this and this, and then a girl I was getting ate up by in college, and, you know what I'm saying, I had the little groupies that I messed with here and there, and then, you know what I'm saying, I'm still hustling out of our house where our baby had just been born, and she just kind of like, hey, you know what, like, you still on some kid shit, you still on some, like, we have a child, so I'm gonna go to my mom's until you get right. Well, when she went to her mom's, instead of that making me realize I lost my family, it just gave me permission to act the worst, because now they're not in the house. So now my family or my wife and my child could be a convenience. She moved to her mom's, but I still had my house, so now I could just go over there and see her and have sex or do something with my wife, and then I could kiss my baby and play with my baby till she got a dirty diaper, and then I could leave. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I gotta go. And you come in with money, and I have a rap career, and you know what I mean? So I have an excuse, you know, I always have an excuse for everything that happened. When I'm cheating, I stayed out all night, I did this, I can come and put some money on the table, I can show I'm hustling, or I can say I was at the studio, but unlike other people, I really was, because I made albums, I really had songs, I really had music videos, I really have this stuff. And so I kind of, it just gave me permission for everything to be a convenience. Until one day, she just come and she like, hey, I'm divorcing you. And I'm like, what? You were divorcing me? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, why? She's like, because I'm just a convenience. And you're like, bro, you don't need to be married. You're not ready to be married yet. Like, you're only, you know, we're only, at the time, we were only 20. You're only 20. And she's like, you're only 20. Because it's been 3 years, so yeah. But 2 years. And she's just like, you're not ready to be married. Like, I know you love, but you're like, it's just a convenience. Like, you worried about you. You too caught up being you. And I threw a big fit and threatened and begged and tried to manipulate. But at the end of the day, she was right. She was right. I wasn't prepared at that time. I wasn't prepared, and sometimes I get a lot of remorse about that too, you know, talking to y'all and being honest with you, because I've been a really awesome dad to my sons, but my daughter didn't get to experience that, because when I fucked up the relationship with her mom and then I went to prison, like, I didn't get to come into my daughter's life for real until she was 10 years old. So from the time she was 2 to the time she was 10, I wasn't there. I was around, but I wasn't there. I got locked up when she was 2, about to be 3. I spent 6 years in there, and then it took another 1.5 years or so after that for her mom to trust me enough to let me come back over there. And then there was also a whole bunch of a lie that her mom had built up by then, because when I went to prison and she was 2, she got with this guy that I knew, and he started raising her, and she never even, once my daughter was new, she never even told my daughter at first that I wasn't, even her last name is my last name, and my ex-wife's last name is my last name. For all she knew, that guy was her dad until she was 10 years old, when she had to pull her to the side. And I'm at a prison, and I'm like, hey, I've been contacting her constantly, like, no, where's my child? Like, fuck that, I have rights. To where she finally had to be on, like, break her lie and pull her to the side and say, hey, that's right, this is not your dad, and your dad, and then she had to pull out a whole box, like, your dad does love you, your real dad does love you. And that's after her and the guy had broke up or whatever, but, you know, your dad does love you, he's been contacting you the whole time, this is woo, 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 woo. It was me, it's me that did this. And then she contacted me, like, I told her the truth, I think you need to come over here. And so I come over there, and then there's this whole, you know, process, because my daughter's a Capricorn, my oldest daughter. I mean, my daughter, the one I'm talking about here. And so it was, I had to prove it. To this day, I still have to prove it to my daughter. My daughter, she's 17 now, or she's about to be 17, but you have to prove it. Like, it took her a year, 2 years, 3 years before she ever said I love you to me, or she ever took anything I said seriously, even though it wasn't my fault, and she understood that her mom had a lie and I was locked up and this and all this other shit. It took a long time for her to even take anything with me seriously and show any emotion towards me. And that shit used to break my heart, because I would show, but then and she would just, you know, she's the way she is. And it would be like, she's a Capricorn with a Libra moon and a Leo rising. But, you know, and her sun is exactly on my Mars. Her rising is exactly on my Venus. And, which is also my mom's moon, which is crazy in its own self. My mom, even though she did, my Venus is my mom's moon, which is my grandmother's moon also. My mom's moon and my grandmother's moon. So my mom's moon and her mom's moon are conjunct. And then my mom's moon is my Venus, while her sun is my moon. And then my daughter's sun is my Mars, exactly. 21 degrees Capricorn sun, I'm a 21 degree Capricorn Mars in my 4th house. And then her Venus is, her rising is 12 degrees Leo, and my Venus is 12 degrees Leo. But anyway, it took a lot of time and a lot of proving, and that shit was a lot of heartbreak, because there'd be times I'm trying to show, and then my daughter would be kind of cold towards me the way Capricorns can be, and that'll discourage me to where I won't talk to her for a month. Like, I'm a Cancer, that shit'll shut me down. Like, that shit'll hurt my feelings. Now it's like, damn, I'm trying, and like, this little motherfucker is mean. Like, she don't give a fuck. Like, and it's not my fault. Like, I went to prison and stuff, but I didn't tell her that lie. I was trying. I wrote her every day. I sent money. I've always paid my child support. I've done everything I'm supposed to do. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, and it eventually just came to, you know, it came to a point to where she saw it. You know what I mean? And we've worked into a great relationship now, but still, it's it's a motherfucker. Hey, I appreciate the love, Tiger Lily. I'm rambling a little bit too much, but we here. We here for a little bit. Let me see how much battery I got. All right, yeah. I'm here if anybody else has any questions and shit. But I done told y'all all this shit about my family and shit. I don't even forgot where I started off at. I was talking about my brother, and I don't even know how I started talking about my brother. It's the Cancer moon. It's that family shit. It's the Cancer moon. You gotta blame the Cancer moon. It's that it'll get you feeling nostalgic. Yeah. And even my ex-wife and I, like, we have a really respectful relationship to each other now. She just respects me as a man because she also has a kid by that other guy now, and he's not like me. He's a Virgo. So you have a Cancer parent and a Virgo parent, and I guess, you know, I'm probably a lot easier to deal with. And it's just because I'm accountable for what I did wrong in that. And even though I would never deal with her like in that way again, and plus I'm married, and I would never be disrespectful to my family. But in dealing with that, like, I'm not fucked because I guess I acknowledge everything I did wrong. There's not any resentment there. You know, I fucked that situation up. Saturn goes into Aries. I don't know the exact date. Let's look. Let's check it out. I can sure find out. We're not Googling it. We could. Oh, it's not letting me. We might have to Google it. May 24th, 2025. That's the first time. May 24th, 2025. Let me see. Okay, so May 24th, 2025 to September 1st, 2025, and then it'll retrograde back into Pisces, and then from February 13th, 2026 to April 12th, 2028. And then Neptune will also be in Aries, and that's when we'll be going to war. I can't guarantee it, but that's what I see. Ooh. Neck hurting now? My jaw stopped hurting now. Oh yeah. The fuck? Yeah. I don't want to guarantee it, and I hope not. But that's when I see there being a war. Hold up, I got to take my medication real fast while we're here. I like to pop a Viagra and walk around the library. No, I'm just nah, it's a Levitra. No, I'm just... Yeah. Let them know I'm not saying anything audibly, but I'm loud and I'm proud. Standing loud and proud. Yeah. I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it though. Anybody else? Hold up. 13 Moon Lily. You said, what do I think about Pisces Sun, Sag Moon, and Uranus with Mars, Venus, Mercury, Lilith, all in Aries? I think that person is a mess. I think they need Jesus. No. To stop playing though, with a Pisces Sun, you know, they're probably very talented and they, you know, and very conflicted or complex in their way. But with that Sag Moon and Uranus and then all of those Aries placements, they're also very impulsive and they're just, they're a wild card. They're a wild card. And they're gonna do what the fuck they want to do regardless of what the fuck you or anybody else thinks about it. You understand? Hold up. Okay, yeah. I'm still fine. I was worried it went away. I was worried it went away. No, I'm still there. I still got it. Excuse me. They ain't came and got me yet. I've been smoking a lot of loud at the library, man. A lot of loud. But there's also a beautiful lake back there. So I'll go come to the library for a little bit. A couple of days, maybe out of the week, and then I'll go to the lake, chill at the lake for a few hours, and reflect, and read, and just look at the animals and shit. Look at the white folks watching me. And yeah, it's really been healing. I can't tell y'all how much better I've been feeling. Like, consistently. And you gotta be careful, because I'm gonna put y'all up on game on something. When this for y'all fellas. When there are 7 planets in retrograde, and this is not a natural occurrence. It usually doesn't happen where they're all retrograde at once. A lot of them are like 4 or 5, you know, but not 7 of them. So when 7 of them are retrograde, and we actually had 8 at one point for a day there, your dick can shrink. Just take it from me. It ain't. Now I had something to spare, but you might. So the best thing you can do is consult your nearest astrologer. And not your nearest, consult the best. And we can see what we can do to shorten up that shrinkage. And maybe that's a double, you know, I don't know. But help me help you. Now, Black Moon Lilith in Taurus in the 7th house in Synastry. Now, you have to clarify what you mean by that. Are you saying their Black Moon Lilith in Taurus is in Taurus and it's in your 7th house? Or your Black Moon Lilith is in Taurus and it's in their 7th house? Clarify yourself. What's up, Paz? You said you've got a 12th house stellium. Mars, Mercury, and the Sun in Leo. Your North Node is in Cancer, and you're confused about the karmic debt stuff. Were you a bad person in your last life? No, but you were all business. With that South Node in Capricorn, you were all business. And you just, you didn't really care about people's feelings very much. You were about taking care of your responsibilities. And you try to stay on point with that. So what happens is you know how to be responsible. That's natural to you. What you have to ask yourself in this life is, can you learn to be responsive to the emotional needs of other people? And that's why your North Node is in Cancer, and that's why you have that 12th house stellium. Is you know how to be responsible. Now, can you be responsive to the emotional needs of other people? And with Virgo rising, you're here to be of service. Take it from me. Take it from me. See, I'm a Virgo rising in sidereal and in Vedic. I'm a Libra rising in this way, but I'm definitely here to bring my service. You just said it was a 12th house stellium. You're a Leo rising then. I assumed. Excuse me. Well, being a Leo rising then, that would tell me then, you got some Virgo in your 1st house then. But being a Leo, I assumed because you get 12th house stellium in Leo, which would be easy for an astrologer to do. And it's easy for me to say, hey, I fucked up. Players fucked up. But with Leo rising, that makes it different then. Maybe you're here to learn how to emotions in a way that pays off for you, as far as in some inspirational way, or in some entertaining way, or in some creative way. Hey, it's all gravy. I'm not wrong often, but when I'm wrong, I'm wronger than a motherfucker. Just don't let my wife know, because I tell her, I told her the other day, I said, I'm always right. And I'm usually am, but I said, man, I'm always right. I was talking a lot of shit last night. But no, when you ask about the karmic debt stuff, Capricorn South Node, Cancer North Node, you need to learn how to feel in this life. You need to learn how to express your emotions. You need to learn how to be responsive to the emotional needs of other people, because you're naturally responsible. You were naturally, the type of person who handled your business in your previous life. And in doing so, you know how to be successful. You know how to handle business. The thing is, can you handle emotions? And so that's really what it's all about with that. And that gives you a better perspective. Can you handle emotions? Yeah. I don't know how much longer this signal can maintain, y'all. We already been here for 2 hours though. So we finna go here in about 20 minutes. 15 minutes. Really, I can't see. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, we probably can go about 20 more minutes. So let's make it count. Plus, I gotta pee. I gotta pee as bad as Forrest Gump had to pee after he drank all them Dr. Peppers. For real. Cheryl Gray. You said Libra Sun, Capricorn Rising, North Node and Gemini in the 9th house stellium. What are you here to learn? Capricorn Rising and North Node. You got a Gemini 9th house stellium. I mean, I would say you probably are here to learn how to be a good teacher. And learn how to help other people be more responsible, and for you to, you know, through your own maturity and through the experiences that you have, you can learn how to advise people not to go through those same. But you're gonna have to experience some stuff in order for you to be able to those experiences, and you being able to communicate them. Then you can be able to give people proper advice. So stuff like life coaching or being an advocate, a lawyer, counselor, anything where you're able to, and I mean, there's all kinds of ways that you could do it, but any way that you could be able to supply people with sound advice would probably be some of the best things for you, because with that 9th house Gemini stellium, and so are you a Libra rising? And that Libra sun, and then you having your North Node in Capricorn, you're gonna in some way learn how to master something. So you learning how to master these things, master your life, master control over things, and through experience, it allows you to be able to supply people with, you know, sound advice, or it allows you to lead, or it allows you to be somebody that people look to, or it allows you to be a great politician, or I mean, there's just so many ways it could go out for you. But really, it's about you learning how to be successful and help other people and lead other people to success. So developing good communication skills is going to be important with that. You having experiences where people respect you. Oh, I'm about to sneeze. All of that. Now, Alien Moonman, you said you think you got a YOD, 4 degrees, Neptune, 5 degrees, Gemini is the highest in the 8th. Can I explain a YOD? I mean, when I'm looking at, I need to know everything else that's going on and what the YOD, I would have to look at the chart. I can tell you what the YOD is about. You know, a YOD is always about inconjunctions and sextiles. And so, you know, those right there, when you're looking at one, but with Neptune, and so you're just saying, it just says Gemini and Capricorn, and I see you say the 8th house, and I know your chart a little bit, but I would have to go look at your whole chart again. So send me that question text it to me. You know how to get a hold of me. But I need to look at your chart in order to know what's going on. You put all this stuff right there, and I don't want to tell you anything wrong. And so as far as a YOD, you know, it's one of those formation of aspects that involves conjunctions and inconjunctions and sextiles. But I would want to know what's going on and how it's formulated. Hey, could I have an ear infection that was making my jaw hurt? Because that's what it feels like. Now, Tiger Lily. Sorry, I'm having to look at the computer over here. Sorry, I love it. I realized I wasn't even on screen. But you said you have Capricorn intercepted in your 4th, Cancer intercepted in your 10th, and your daughter does too. Could that be a generational curse? If you look at something in a chart like a curse, it could be not a generational curse. It could be a genetic thing, or it could be something that's you know, a family thing that's going on between both of y'all that's interconnected. But I would never look at anything like it's a curse in your chart. That's perspective and perception. You look at something like a curse, then your ass is cursed. See? If you believe, you have to feed into that energy that something is a curse. It's a cycle. It's not a curse, it's a cycle. You break cycles. Kill curses. Now what did you say? A Scorpio rising to what? Hold up, 13 million Lily. Oh, you said add a Scorpio rising to all that stuff that person has. Yeah, they're an intense person. And yeah, I feel a lot better. Tiny Drea, you said he has Lilith in your 7th house. So his Lilith in Taurus is in your 7th house. Well, he could be really possessive over you. Y'all could have really, you know, y'all could have a really strong relationship, solid, but that person could be really possessive over you. They could want to own you more than they want to be with you and experience some life with you. They want to make you theirs. And if that's something you're into, that's fine. But yeah. Yeah. Now, ThErApY, you said North Node in Capricorn in the 11th house. And you said you have your Saturn on your ascendant in Aquarius too. How do you reach your highest self? How do I see Saturn playing into that? Well, it's hard for you to feel like you fit in anywhere, first of all. Like, you feel so different. And so the people that you do connect with, like that shit, it feels like, man, they're real with you. You feel responsible for them. You feel responsible, and you're gonna be with them forever. But if it's somebody that's not about something, you can't build with them. So you always want to know people who are mature and be involved with people who are mature and be around people who are mature, and you can deal with them because that's kind of how you are. But there's also this thing where you have a real hard time connecting with a lot of people because you take things so serious all the time. So because you take everything so seriously, it kind of makes, with the same thing with your associations, it makes them take on that thing where you force people to either you're the type of person who can handle me, or you're the type of person that I ain't gonna fuck with. And it goes both ways, because if they can handle you, you'll fuck with them the long way forever. And the same thing with that right there on your ascendant is you're a very responsible person. And so it's hard, you know, it's hard for you to connect, and a lot of the times it's hard for you to feel like you're like anybody else. You feel so different than everybody else. And so with you feeling so different from everybody else, it just, like I said, it makes it really hard for you to have a whole bunch of friends and a whole big group. But you also are the type of person that once you get involved with somebody who can handle you and somebody that's mature, like y'all can really build. And so that's the thing with that. And then, hold on. Yeah, my ears hurting a little bit. And my jaw. Fuck it. Not bad, I'm alright. It's an annoyance more than anything else. I don't remember the dreams I'm having, but I do clench in my sleep. I clench when I'm awake. I'm clenching when I'm sleeping. I'm clenched when I'm awake. I'm clenched whether it's been bad or good. So I'm clenched. I'm a clencher. But my jaw shouldn't hurt like that. I used to do meth. I could clench for hours. I should be able to clench for days. It's never fucked with me before. Yeah. I can clench and talk and walk at the same time. I ain't got nothing. I'm not diagnosing myself with nothing. I'm not speaking no disease or disorder over myself ever again in my life. I have a sore jaw from probably sleeping wrong, or if not, my shit is irritated. And it'll be okay. It'll be okay. It'll be all right. Hold on, let me answer everybody else's questions, because we finna go. We finna go. I gotta go. I'm finna have to go. I'm finna have to go. My computer's finna die, and I gotta pee. So. ThERAPY, you said, how do you reach your highest self? Just by being you? Don't worry what anybody else thinks, and just keep growing and keep pushing, which is you're gonna naturally do, because that's how you are. Cheryl Gray, you say Capricorn rising, North Node in Gemini. You have 4 planets in the 9th house. You're gonna have a spiritual awakening. You're gonna have a spiritual awakening during this life that helps you open up through talking to people and the things that you learn and all of that. That kind of helps you experience love and experience truth and learn more about yourself. So the more you open up and talk to people, the more the more you're gonna experience life, and the more you're gonna figure out your truth, because you're a Capricorn rising, so it's just really hard for you to open up to periods, and you're about business. And so the lesson is you'll be able to handle business more efficiently, and you'll actually be able to be more powerful and have a broader scope as you open up more. So let's look at it like that. Y'all ain't no fun, man. I'm fun. I'm like a badass little kid. When I'm not feeling bad, that's how I am all the time. Like, I have to contain myself. I have a mischievous nature. Like, I want to fuck with folks so bad. I get it from my daddy. Like, my dad, that's all he does is fuck with folks. Get high and fuck with folks. But I want to mess with these folks with this library so bad. Ain't nothing I love more than scaring folks. Not like here at the library, because you'll get the police called on you, but like at home, just to scare the shit out of somebody, ain't nothing funner than scaring the shit out of somebody. And my scary ass, and I'm the scariest motherfucker. That's what's wrong with me. That's not karma, because karma's just your life playing out. That's consequence shit. Like, ain't nothing I love more than to scare the shit out of people. But my ass, I'm so scary, it don't even make no sense. I appreciate you so much. I'm happy. Here come, see? You can't go 30 minutes without seeing somebody come with that BBL with their booty shaped into a square. Here comes SpongeBob Square Booty coming down the catwalk. But why your calves and your ankles still skinny though? I'm not making fun of everybody. I'm not body shaming because I'm bald head. Look, I swear to God, y'all, look, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I've been growing my hair on the top for 3 months. You can't see not one hair. I swear. Maybe if I get closer, you can see some hairs on there, some fuzz. That's all I got is fuzz. I've been growing I have not cut the hair on top of my head for 3 months, and all I got is, I had one hair this long sticking out this morning, and I pulled it. I got mad and pulled it. I got so fucking I've been growing my hair out for 3 months, and this is what the fuck I get? Fucking hate my dad. I appreciate the love, Ideal Hamad, fam. But yeah, man. I'm just asking, like, when they go get when you go to get the BBL, we finna go. It's only 10 people in here, so we finna go in a second. But when you go to get the BBL, and I respect everybody to get it, I just, you know, I ain't gonna do it. When you go to get the BBL, do you tell the doctor to put I want the square? Do you get to pick out? And he say, I want the square. Because that motherfucker be squared like a motherfucker. Like if you stand on this side like this, it'll look, and that's real, it'll look like it's a hump. But when they turn and they fully face you with the back, and the whole back side is facing you, it's square. Wow, 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 square. Yeah. That's because you done took your neck fat and put it in your ass. I don't have no anger or resentment. Maybe I was mad at my wife last night and I would clench my jaw. I know we was talking that shit to each other. I love my baby too, but we was talking that shit to each other last night. Typical Cancer and Capricorn shit. Yep. You know it gets bad when a Cancer and Capricorn, when they start saying who pays what. that's a Cancer and Capricorn argument. When they start arguing about who pays what in the who pays what in the house. Yep. I don't remember what it was. She came in there and said it was like 9 something. And she's like, why the kids haven't done their chores yet? And I said, because I haven't told them to do it yet. Which I had actually already told them, but because the way she came in there, I just caught an attitude. And I had already been having an attitude because I feel like she'd been trying to handle me, which is, I should have did that. So, but yeah, it was me. But I was just, you know what I'm saying? I was just waiting. But I was good. We was good before that, but she just, the way she came in there with that Capricorn, like she was just running something. Like she was coming here to, and so she was like, she was like, why the kids ain't did their chores? Why the boys ain't did their chores yet? And I was like, because I haven't told them to do their chores yet. She was like, well, it's 9 o'clock. They need to do their chores. They're supposed to do it at 8:30. I was like, no, they're supposed to do it when I tell them to do it. And she was like, what? She was like, what'd you say? And I was like, they do chores when I tell them to do chores every night. When I yell chores, which is like, it's the truth. It really is. Which is, it is really like at 8:30 though. It usually is at 8:30, but at this, it was just, I said, when I yell chores, that's when it's time to do chores. When I yell chores, that's when it's time to do chores. And she was like, no, when I said, and I was like, no, every night I'll tell them it's time to do chores. And she's like, well, I'm fucking turning the Wi-Fi off. And I was like, I pay the motherfucking Wi-Fi in this bitch. You better not turn that Wi-Fi off. I'm watching something, which I don't even think I was. I think I was playing a game, really. I was like, I'm watching something. You better not turn that Wi-Fi off. And sure enough, 5 seconds later, that Wi-Fi cut off. Poof. And so I went in there, and she had cut it off on the app. So she's in there watching Netflix. She done cut the Wi-Fi off on everybody else in the house in a straight Capricorn move. So I went in there and unplugged the whole Wi-Fi on her. Unplugged the box, unplugged the router. Boom. Like, ain't nobody watching nothing. I pay this shit in here. I went on like, man, ain't nobody watching nothing, and I pay this shit in here. And she's like, I didn't turn nothing off. I was like, yes, you did turn it off. I seen my shit go. and she was like, whatever. She's just like, whatever. She got to her Pisces mode, and I'm in Mars and Capricorn mode, so I'm trying to win, and now she's trying to avoid it now. She's a Mars and Pisces, I'm a Mars and Capricorn. And so she now, it done got intense, so now she's like, you know what, leave me alone. She goes, you know what, leave me alone. And now I'm in this Mars Capricorn Cancer mode. I'm like, I'm not leaving you alone. Like, why did you turn that shit off? Like, you don't turn that shit off on me. Like, I pay the bills in here. Don't turn it off. And she was like, I don't give a fuck what you pay. I was like, you don't run nothing. And she's like, I do run it. And she's like, I just asked you when the kids were doing their chores. And I said, I told you when they were doing their chores. And she was like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, what's wrong with you? And then so it took until this morning to where I was like in my usual leave, and I realized I was wrong in the whole situation. I just caught an attitude for no reason. And really I had an attitude for a reason, but it was with her for no reason. It had nothing to do with that situation. It was just me being passive aggressive, basically. In a Mars in Libra way. I don't have Mars in Libra. I have Mars, but it was in, I'm a Cancer, but Mars is in Libra. So it was just kind of like me being passive aggressive. And so I was kind of irritated about the way she came in there and the way she's been handling things for a while, the way she talks in general. So I caught an attitude about that situation, which I should have just talked to her about the way she talks in general. Like, hey man, you don't have to be, the way the attitude you have, that Capricorn shit, like, you got to tone that shit down sometimes. Like, don't nobody want to deal with that attitude all the time. She's an Aries rising with a Capricorn sun, so she got an attitude all the time. Even when she doesn't mean to, she doesn't realize that she comes across like she fucking has an attitude. And it affects everybody because everybody thinks she's mad. And so I'll be trying to acquiesce, but then sometimes I'll get tired of like feeling like I'm acquiescing. Like, goddamn, I'm a man. I'm not gonna be acquiescing to somebody because I don't want to piss nobody off all the time. I'm not gonna be walking on eggshells because I'm scared to piss this fucking Capricorn off all the time. Which that's retarded in any way, and it's immature for me to think like that, and it's immature for us not to be able to talk about it. So I should have just talked about, like, hey bro, you ain't, not bro, but hey man, honey, whatever you want to say, you don't have to have an attitude. Like, you don't have to come in. But as soon as she came in there with the attitude, it's like I was waiting for her to have an attitude about something, even though she didn't really have an attitude. She was just trying to say. But as soon as she came in there to just say whatever she said, I had the attitude, which was gonna make her have an attitude. Which that's just Libra rising shit and that Aries to the 7th house shit. So all of it is just you being cognizant of the way that you cause situations and you being immature and then you growing from it. So I just saw all of that, and I saw that I was wrong in the situation the whole time. So this morning it was just kind of like, hey, look, I should have handled that differently. I can't, And it shouldn't have came to that, because I should have just told you that I've been feeling some type of way about the attitude you've been having lately. You know what I'm saying? Like, I should have just said that right off the rip and talked to you like, hey, what's wrong with you? And ask you, hey, are you okay? Why you been going through it? Because she also kind of got into it with the people at her job because of her attitude, which is something she normally doesn't do. And it's like, ever since that full moon in Pisces, and it was conjunct her Mars and shit, and it's her Mars is my moon and all that other shit, but like ever since that full moon we had in Pisces, like she just kind of been more emotional in her reactions than usual. She's a Capricorn. She can be mean, but she's not emotional. She's not the type of person who has emotional reactions very often. And so instead of me communicating and taking the situation, I caught an attitude about it. I appreciate the love. Welcome to the motherfucking tribal council. Shalom. Shalom. However you want to pronounce. But yeah. Welcome, welcome. Hey, we for real are gonna do sometime this weekend, either through a post or through me just coming live for 30 minutes. I'm gonna do a drawing to see who we're gonna do our interview with this month, because we're still interviewing one of y'all this month, and we still have to get together to figure out, like, we're doing that. We're doing that. That's my word, and my word is bond. I am well. I am well, and I implore all y'all to join the tribal council. This is what we doing. We building together, baby. If you're not a part of the tribal council, you're disrespecting all of us. That wasn't kind, because there shouldn't have been a situation in the first place. And it was mature of me, but it was immature for me to act that way in the first place. And I'm a very accountable person. That's just how I am. That's why my wife loves me. Because of my skills and my talents. This because I'm the type of person, if I'm wrong, I admit I'm wrong. I apologize. That's why a lot of people still deal with me, even though I've been an asshole to them. Because I apologize, and because I'm the type of person who always holds myself accountable. But that comes from having moon square to Saturn. I'm going to tell you right now, if you want to look at anything astrologically, it's because I have my moon square to Saturn. And so when your moon is square to Saturn, you're kind of the type of person who holds yourself accountable first more than even when it's not your fault sometimes. And I'm just that type of person. Like, I'm always willing to blame myself first. And so that helps me grow. I should have talked to her and seen, and just ask her what's going on emotionally. Because here lately, she just been acting out a little bit more. And it's not, when I say acting out, I don't mean that like she's acting up. Because a human being cannot be acting up, a grown human being. What I mean is she is not the type of person who usually acts on emotions. She's just not that type of person. You said, will Moon conjunct to Saturn apply to accountability? It could. That's more like depression. And somebody who's really very critical on themselves. But yep. Here, I'm finna turn this computer off. It's about to die. More or less, she's usually very buttoned up, especially about her job. She would never act out. Find the join the membership button. It should be there somewhere. Somewhere in the description of the video, there should be a member or a join button. Or you could go to the community tab on my channel and find memberships, and it'll explain the perks and everything that goes along with it, and then you can join from there. But yeah, that's something that she respects about me. There's a lot of stuff that we have where we're very different people and we're a lot alike, because me and my lady are exactly 6 months apart. Exactly 6 months apart. Her birthday's Christmas Day, my birthday's June 26th. And what's crazy is, because I was born in the summer and a lot of things are retrograde during the summer, a lot of our placements are very close to each other, and if they're conjunct, they're also opposite. And we were also born at similar times of the day. So she's an Aries rising, I'm a Libra rising. She's a 4 degrees Capricorn sun, I'm a 4 degrees Cancer sun. Now she happens to be a Libra moon, I'm a Pisces moon. That's where the only thing that's not really opposite or conjunct. But everything else, it's close, it's within a few degrees of each other. But she's a Venus in Scorpio, I'm a Venus in Leo. Which that right there is that's where we get kind of a disconnect too, as far as relationships go. Because I'm all Venus in Leo, and everything Venus in Leo is. All of that shit. And she's everything a Capricorn with Venus in Scorpio would be. She takes things very, like yesterday. I'm gonna give y'all a perfect example. Yesterday, we were driving in the car, and I was laughing about, we heard something on the radio, and I started talking about all of the apps that they used to have where you could hide text messages and calls, and I was telling her that back when I was trifling, and it was even before me and her got together back in our relationship fully, but back when I was in that energy, that I used to have an app on my phone to where I could reroute certain phone numbers. I could decide which phone numbers would go onto that app, or which contacts would go into that app. And from that point forth, those numbers would, when those numbers were texting me or calling me, it would never show up in my phone for real. It would go straight through that app. That app would filter them out. And that app would keep all of those calls and messages and pictures and all of that stuff in there. And it actually functioned as an audio app on my phone. So I could just go change the volume levels on it if I just touched it. But if I pressed and held it down for over 5 seconds, then a password will pop up, or a pattern, or a face recognition. And then once you get bypass that security measure, then you're into the actual call log and the messages and the gallery, and all of that stuff is encrypted in there. And so you could, and then when somebody called you or you got a text message, it would just say, you would have this little notification that popped up on your phone that said, you have 1 audio issue with your phone, or you have 10 audio issues with your phone. And really it's 10 text messages, or it's 10 phone calls, or whatever. But it's telling, or you could just say, you can make the message, it will say anything. It can say your phone has a virus, and it really means that somebody is trying to call you. And so we were playing, I was laughing about that, and I was telling her, we were talking about it, and then she said, then I was like, well, they also have that app where, I was like, they also have that app where if you try to get into my phone, if you track my phone, it'll take your picture. And a lot of people know that. And she was like, yeah. She was like, yeah, Isaac used to have that. And Isaac was her ex before me. And I was like, oh, you got caught. I started laughing, like, who, you got caught trying to break in Isaac's phone? And I was laughing about it, and she just was very serious and intense about it. And I caught that, and I kind of got my feelings, because I'm like, damn, you still jealous about Isaac? And she was like, no. She's like, but I just don't think that shit is funny. And I was like, I think it's funny because we used to, it's good that we're not like that anymore, that our relationship used to, I used to cheat, and you used to cheat, and this, and like, you used to be crazy. And she's like, that shit wasn't cool. She's like, that shit ain't funny to me. That shit, she's like, it's funny to you? I was like, it's funny to me because we're not there anymore, and I'm glad we grow. It's funny to me. And she's like, that shit ain't funny to me. She said, that shit, she's like, that shit makes me think that you still have that shit, and it's gonna make me want to see what's going on with your phone all the time. She's like, don't do that. She's like, that shit's not funny to me. Exactly, you said it's triggering. She's like, that shit's not funny to me. She's like, I don't want to, like, we were good. I don't want to talk about that shit. And she's had an attitude. She kind of acted funny throughout the day after that. But it's just, that's that connect, that Venus in Scorpio, Venus in Leo disconnect sometimes. So that's kind of where it goes with that. To me, it's funny because I'm not like that. But for her, it's pulling the scab off her wound. And her being a Capricorn with Venus in Scorpio, she already deals with those issues of trust and insecurity. Capricorns go hard as they do because they never feel like they're enough. And then people with Venus in Scorpio, they love so intensely that they don't trust, like, damn, like. And so she just, she just, that right there, just, it causes a disconnect. And then, you know, the Aries Libra rising thing, it's sexy, but it also is, it's also sometimes, like I said, but it's just because the way she comes across, and the problem is we're older, and I'm a male and she's a female. And so I can get her, she just being her. She's aggressive, she's assertive, she takes care of business. But I've had to learn that I get offended sometimes when she does, like when she takes control of a situation, or when she comes in aggressively, like I get offended because of my masculine ego. Like, hey man, I'm a man, don't watch how you handling me. And she'll be like, I don't give a fuck who you are. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, that's how I am. And I'm like, motherfucker, you can't be like that with me. I'm a fucking man. And she's like, I don't give a fuck what you are. That don't mean shit to me. And I'd be like, but I'm a man. And she's like, and it's not that she doesn't respect me as a person. It's just that shit doesn't mean shit. You want respect. It's about what you're doing, how you're carrying yourself, how you're handling business. That's the Capricorn way of her seeing things. You get what I'm saying? Whereas me with Cancer, it's about the vibe, about the intention, about traditional stuff. You know what I mean? Like, nah. And Capricorn is traditional too in its way, but more Cancer is just like, hey, nah, you know, Capricorn's like, earn it. Cancer is like, no, feel it. But yeah. It's like that. We've been here for almost 3 hours, y'all. Cooling. It's been fun though. Exactly, Jazzy. You're exactly right. Like, sometimes she doesn't allow me to be what I need to be. Sometimes there's times like that. There's nothing. It's took time for me to prove it. But I had to do it on my own because she wasn't gonna allow me. Like, she'd take control of stuff, like boop, 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 like, and it is a control thing, but it's also because she doesn't trust anybody else to do what they're gonna do, because she knows. She's proven, we know she's gonna do and handle her business. But for me, I haven't always. I do now, but I haven't always. But I've also seen her as a Capricorn back when she was back in the day, like, no matter how much I worked, she would, before we moved into our situation, she would not allow me to pay bills at our house or would do anything like that because she didn't want me to do anything. Like, I would give money and pay, but like, she wanted me to work because she wanted me to have my own stuff. She did not want me to pay the bills because she didn't want me to have control over anything. Like, that's a Capricorn, some Capricorn shit. But eventually it had to be like, no, like, it's just a thing where you have to kind of show them that you're somebody that can be counted. Show y'all that you're somebody that can be counted on in a fundamental way. Like, it's like, okay, I see you here. And yeah, but it's a constant fight for control when you're dealing with Capricorn energy. Like, it's a constant. If you're dealing with a person with those Capricorn placements, like, they want control. They'll control you. They want to control you because they love you. They feel like they know what's best for you, and they'll even keep you off balance to control you. Capricorns will. And what I mean by keep you off balance is they'll constantly criticize you, or they'll constantly piss you off. They'll be rude. You won't, like, they'll, because they want to keep control of the situation. And if they can keep you off balance, then they have control of the situation. No, and you're exactly right, Cheryl Gray. My lady said that to me specifically one day. One day when we were really having an honest conversation, we were standing in the kitchen, and we were standing there, and she laughed about it the way a Capricorn would, and she just, out of the blue, she just said, "All right, I admit it." And she giggled. She's like, and I'm like, "What?" She's like, "I have a little bit of a control issue." From one moment to the next, she's like, "Me, it doesn't matter what's going on with me and my feelings. I'm gonna take care of the business. It doesn't matter what I'm going through emotionally. I'm going to pay the bills. I'm not gonna, like, that's not gonna get in the way." She said, and she hasn't drank in years. Alcohol is so different for them because it gives them that other shit comes out. That shit they've been buttoned up and keeping in comes out. And it's a motherfucker. They can have fun, but they can also be real motherfucking hard to deal with when Capricorns get to work. She's gonna make sure that the bills are paid. She's gonna make sure that people are fed, that dinner is cooked. This. No matter what is going on with everything else, she makes sure that her responsibilities are taken care of. Now with me, I do okay, but it depends on what's going on with me. It depends, and with a lot of people it's like that. It just depends on what's going on. I'm usually okay, and as I've matured, I've been more okay. But even y'all see me, I'll go through a thing where I'm thinking I'm dying for a couple months, then I'll be great, and then one day I'll be, you know what I'm saying? Like, I go through the motions. Not her, because no matter what's going on with her emotionally, she still has responsibilities. And so, yeah. It's like, motherfucker, I can't have emotional breakdown right now. I have responsibilities. Like, we still have kids. And so, there's that. Now, when it comes to nurturing emotions, that's where I have to be the leader of our household. Like, I have to care about how people feel and what the tone and the mood of our household. Like, I have to make sure that I influence that because of the way that she can be. Because if not, what about how you feel? And so I have to, at times, and we help each other in that way. Us being opposites, we really help each other in that way. Because also understand, crazy as it is, house. And so at home, I also am a different person than I am everywhere else. At home, I'm very, very strict and very, very, my household is going to be a certain way. Like, that's how it is gonna be. My household is gonna be, there's gonna be a certain amount of of traditional values and respect in my motherfucking household. Like, my kids are going to say yes sir and no sir, yes ma'am and no ma'am. They're going to can behave a certain way. There's certain ways that at my house, like, you're gonna see how we get down. And it's gonna be respectfully, and it's gonna be, you're never gonna come in here and just be somewhere you don't want to be. Hold up. Dick Suckerbeck or Movadev. Let me block you from ever handling my channel. No, don't let me show it so I can block them. Leave it so I can block them. There we go. Dick Suckerbeck, whatever your name is, you out of here. Nadia, how are you doing? Dick Suckerbeck off Medavov will never be able to speak on this channel again. Fuck you, Dick Suckerbeck. And why would your parents name you Dick Suckerbeck? That's what I want to know. But yeah, us being so different, it helps out. It helps out. But at home, like, there's a certain way that I have to be at, as far as at home, that I'm so glad I have Mars in Capricorn. Like, I'm so glad I have Mars in Capricorn. Because it gives me some nutsack. Nadia, how are you? Hey, y'all, we finna have to go. We got 8 minutes for real, and then I'm gone, for real. Let me see how much battery I got. Let me see. It won't say. But yeah, we finna go, y'all. So, hey, I still need some business, man. I had a whole bunch of y'all tell me, I'm gonna hit you up, and then none of y'all hit me up, and I'm getting in my feelings about it. And I really, you know, I was always, and us not having insurance, or me not being covered by the insurance, and us wrecking vehicles, like, there was stuff that I did that just constantly. I remember one time she went and bought me a car because I had messed my car up. She went and bought me a car, and we spent $4,000 on a car. Had it 2 days, and I was at home asleep, and I heard a big crash outside. I came outside, and some drunk motherfucker had crashed, and so I didn't get a free car. It just basically did not. Like, another time I fucking nodded off on drugs and fucking crashed. Another time we went and bought a big ass excursion, paid for it on Wednesday night. Thursday morning I took her to work, dropped her off. I'm taking my son to school, and have a rollover wreck in that bitch, total that bitch. Just boo, like me. I'm her husband. This is our family. Like, she has to come bond me out or find them. But yeah, there was so many instances where that shit. And also understand, I have Pluto in the 1st house. She has Pluto in the 7th house. So our Plutos are opposite in that regard, but conjunct in Scorpio. Conjunct but opposite. Opposite houses, but conjunct to each other. And so, with her Pluto in the 7th house and her having those intense in that shit with the relationship, to me having Pluto in the 1st house, I just played right into her fucking hand. Not to mention, her Lilith is at 4 degrees of Cancer. My sun is 4 degrees of, I'm her Lilith. And so a lot of that shit, like, it brought out the worst. So, hey, we finna go, y'all. I love you. I need the business. I appreciate everybody coming through today. I will be back on Monday with the top 5. I appreciate everybody's love and support. This has been an awesome session. We've been here for 3 hours. I got to pee for real. I can't do it no more. Hey, we'll talk soon. Remember, no matter what you have going on, you can always grow. You can always change, because just because you're built like that, it doesn't mean you have to build like that. And what I mean is, we all have all of this energy available to us. What you do with it is what you do with it. And even beyond that, it's not about what you do. It's about how you do it. And that's some priceless knowledge in itself. And this has been some priceless